Hello, hello, hello. Jennifer here from Magical Life Astrology. I am so happy for you to join me. I'm sure you're watching this later and not at the live stream, but I am doing this on a very special day. Today is June 4th, 2024, and we have Venus and the Sun holding hands in the sky. And that's called a Venus cazimi. So the word cazimi means in the path of the sun. And so Venus is actually at the same degree and in the path of the sun, which makes Venus's power, bigger, brighter, bolder today. So just notice where Venus is coming through to you, maybe beautiful spaces, maybe you decided to go shopping or have your nails done, maybe a little decorating, also fostering friendships and taking care of your people and being romantic and love interest. Maybe it's a date night tonight. Whatever it is, it's all Venusian types of themes. And I'll read a couple of things to you about Venus. Venus is the uniter. She harmonizes everything she touches. She persuades. She's all about relationships, possible popularity, pleasure, self-worth. So how we feel about ourselves on the inside, our values, our taste, our attitudes toward women and females, stereotype or stereotypical Venusian would be like the Venus de Milo statue. I know on one of the last Venus Cazimis, I want to say 2 years ago, we were outside, we were at the beach. It was a beautiful sunset, and I just went into this little convenience store, and there stood this big statue of Venus, just kind of like the Buddha here behind me. It was just beautiful and out of nowhere. And I was like, well, there she is. There's Venus. She showed up. So just notice what beautiful thing has shown up for you. Today is Tuesday. This could be on Wednesday or even Thursday. So I am streaming this coming up on the new moon in June, because that is a great way for you to be able to recognize. Let's see, are we still there? That is a great way for you to be able to recognize, this new moon energy, which is in the sign of Gemini. And in Gemini, things are busy, they're popping, they're buzzing like a bee, very communicative. You may have had lots of phone calls, lots of social invites, come here, go here. Your calendar may be booked like mine, and you just have thing after thing after thing coming up. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody has something to say. And I thought this was a great time to get this out here. So if you're not familiar with Gemini, or you don't have a Gemini in your life, here's some keywords for Gemini. Gemini is very versatile. Gemini is the one who is curious, who asks all the questions, very inquisitive. So like the energy of a journalist, that would be Gemini energy. It's a student-teacher vibe where we're learning about things, or maybe we're teaching someone things. Communicator, a speedy intellectual. They are super witty. My dad, he's a Gemini, and so he has always got some little comeback to say. Very talkative, a need for constant stimulation. Is that you right now? Are you like completely overstimulated, or it's a TMI type of situation? That's Gemini. It's an air sign now, so it's very light and airy. Think of like a butterfly, or like I said, a bumblebee. They have many interests, very intelligent, and they're the person who stands back and kind of observes what's going on. They are the sign of the twins, that Gemini energy. It's doing things 2 times. It's buying 2 sweaters, one in pink and one in green. So if you tend to do things twice, that's the Gemini energy coming in for you. And that's what we have right now. We have not only the sun in Gemini, but now Venus is in Gemini. We've got Jupiter in Gemini, bringing our good fortune through those, doing it twice, doing it double. Gemini is our immediate surroundings. So, like our neighborhood, it's like, the neighborhood you live in, the street you live on, in your cul-de-sac. It's your relations with your neighbors. It can also extend towards siblings. It's a sign of the siblings. Gemini, what else can I tell you about Gemini? Questioning the sign of duality. So, two opinions, like the twins, two people sometimes, two personalities, very youthful. Gemini maybe doesn't want to give you an exact answer or a firm answer, so they may avoid you, may not want to talk about it. There could be issues coming up around not being heard or understood, um, causing us to talk more, to express ourselves more. So notice how that may happen. And, if you're an earth sign, it's very important. Or if you're fixed energy, if you are Aquarius or Leo or Scorpio, you are going to be like, okay, I need you to hear me. Who else? Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. That's air. That's water. That's fire. Who's the earth one? Taurus. Oh, Taurus is the other. So having people non-committal and not able to tell you yes or no or one way or the other, that might be driving you crazy right now. Just know it's going to pass, okay? On the 20th of this month, yes, the Thursday, the 20th, on the solstice, we go into Cancer season, which is a water sign. So just hang in there. Things are going to change. They always do. And that's just the nature of the astrology. But I like knowing what's coming next. So here I am out singing my song, telling you all about what's coming up. So let me get my notes out here. So I called this month the ripple effect. If you have ever been, like when I was a kid, I lived on a farm and sometimes we would go fishing and sometimes skipping stones out on a pond. And when you skip stones, that stone, if you skip it the right way, it'll like pop, 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 pop across the surface of the water. And it creates like ripples in the water. And I feel like all of our interactions, all of our social activity is like that this month. It is one causes the next, causes the next, causes the next. And we're creating this ripple effect. We're going on to the future. One of the biggest aspects that we have happening this month just happened yesterday. And that was Pluto was talking to Jupiter. And Pluto is the sign of power and transformation and destruction, big Aquarian energy. He's in Aquarius right now. And he was in a trine with Jupiter, the big guy, the one who's responsible for abundance and expansion, that Santa Claus energy. And so those two talking is bringing abundance in, and it's taking us toward the future. So I don't know what you've heard this week or what you've listened to that said, yeah, that feels like where I'm headed, because that's a part of what's going on right now. That's where we're headed. And Jupiter's giving us our first hint with that aspect of what the Aquarian energy is going to be like going into next year, even because Pluto is going to go retrograde. He's going to back up into Capricorn. That'll happen right around Labor Day. I think it's the 2nd of September. And then it's going to feel like we're backtracking a little bit. And then through the fall, he moves back forward and he'll be back into Aquarius in January. So if things feel stagnant this fall, we'll talk about that later. But if things feel stagnant this fall, just know January is like the start of the future, but you're getting some ideas now about what is it you're going to do into the future. And so that's an important factor into June, into this ripple effect. What happens now creates the next skip a stone, the next skip a stone, and all the ones going forward. So new moon in Gemini. Let me explain that to you. That happens early on Thursday morning at 8:38 a.m. So the sky is getting dark right now at night. Notice you'll just see a little sliver of the moon. When you look up, he'll get smaller and smaller until the sky is dark. Probably on Wednesday night, the sky is dark, probably on Thursday night. And then by Friday, you might see that sliver of the moon again. This happens because the sun and moon are really close together in the sky. And I say they're holding hands in the sky during a new moon, and it's the beginning of a new cycle. When you have someone with new moon energy where their sun and the moon are together, They're kind of an introverted person. They kind of hold back a little bit. Even like a showy sign like Leo, if they have a sun and moon together and they're a new moon baby, they're kind of on the quieter side. They're more internalized. It's really a quiet sky during a new moon, very introspective, thinking about things, and maybe they don't talk a lot and don't say a whole lot. So that's kind of like, how can we be in Gemini season where we're like, talk, 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 talk. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, it's a new moon. It's time to go inside. Well, that means all these ideals are spinning around in our head. So our mind is still busy, even if we're not maybe sharing all the things that we'd like to share. Or maybe other people aren't sharing, or other people aren't answering. They're not giving us that yes or no. And so it's driving us crazy because we have no answers. That's kind of the energy of the new moon. It is a quieter time. It's a time to go inside, to reflect, to think about, but also to make plans. So, do your new moon intention setting on Wednesday night or Thursday morning or anytime on Thursday. You're still in the new moon phase. You can even do that into Friday. Light yourself a candle, get yourself a little post-it note, make yourself a list of stuff. And I'm sitting here at my desk. You can't see it, but I'll make my little list and I'll show you. I've got months of lists that I have made in the past, that I make my little new moon intentions, and I compare those over time, and you would be surprised. Like, I got a whole stack of them here. You would be surprised at how many of those things, when you set that intention at the new moon, just your little Virgo checklist, and you light your candle, say a prayer to your ancestors, your angels, your guides, and just say thank you, universe, help to make it so, and let it go. And you've created this list now. You set it subconsciously. Go back and look at that list over the months, because you'll be surprised at how many of those things you actually accomplished, because once you write it down, you're somehow embedding that into your memory. So that is on Thursday, our new moon. And it is flavored by this Venus Cazimi. So this might be a very sweet new moon. Maybe you're able to communicate through body language to your significant other or to your best friend, somebody you can just go to the movies with. You don't even have to talk. You know, they know what you mean, even if you can't express the right words. It's that kind of energy, just really sweet and kind, and, looking for what's lovely and beautiful in every moment, whether it be a pretty picture that you found at Home Goods, or you go outside and the sun sets pink and you're just like, oh my gosh, our world is just gorgeous, and we're just lucky for every day that we get to wake up and go out and see it. That's kind of the blessing, I think, of every new moon period, because we get to really reflect on life and all the goodness that there is. And I think that's something that you can do too. So that is the new moon. It's very imaginative. We have a Neptune aspect. It's this new moon. You might be making your plans and your lists for the future, and maybe you can imagine those better. And so right now the energy is kind of wide open. It's dreamy. We can come up with all the things we want to do. But here's the problem. On the 8th and 9th, which is over the weekend, it's like we hit a wall. So if you've been waiting on an answer about something, I hope you get it, really before the weekend, because the answer could be no, or it could be a delay, could be a not yet. The sun is squaring Saturn. It's like a 90-degree angle, and it's like hitting your leg on the coffee table. It hurts. So there's a little bit of a wall coming up for us. It's harder. And next week, the second week of June, is going to be a harder week. It's teaching us we have to pivot. So here's what's happening. On Tuesday, the 11th, we have that square, that hitting your leg on the coffee table, between the planet Mars, which is our gas pedal, our aggression, our anger, how we assert ourselves, how we like vroom, vroom, vroom forward. That's Mars. He is squaring Pluto. the one who transforms and destroys. So this is like war energy. And I've said to you in the past, the OK Corral, it's like the Cowboy Shootout. If you know, I'm from Kentucky, it's the Hatfields and McCoys, people. That kind of energy is in the sky on the 11th. I'm really worried about, the wars that are happening. If there could be other bad things, there's nothing we can do about it. It just is. But if you don't want to have an argument with somebody, don't engage. That's when you hold your mouth shut. Over the weekend into the first part of next week, especially on the 11th and the 12th, because on the 12th, I'm looking at my calendar, which is next Wednesday. Mercury, the planet of communication, he's squaring Saturn. So, it could be a hard no. It could be the answer is not happening. You hit major setbacks, major delays. You've got to wait. It's time to pivot. Go back inside. Pretend it's a new moon again. That's the best way to handle this. Then on the 14th, which is next Friday, June 14th, we have the Sun and Mercury holding hands in the sky. So, like I said to you, right now on the 4th, we have Venus and the Sun together, Kazemi. Well, we don't usually have them this close together, but we have Mercury coming up on the Sun having a Kazemi. And that is, Mercury is the planet of communication. It's our thoughts. It's our mental processes. It also has something to do with transportation and moving ahead. That is having the light of the sun on it. The sun is going to outshine Mercury during Kazemi. And it is really highlighting all these communicative themes. Okay. So that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. And it's a reset for that Mercury energy. So that might be that pivot point where you figure out a different way. It's like, okay, maybe the answer is not no. Maybe the answer is we're going to do it different this time. So look for that middle of next week. Well, into next week on the 14th, headed into the weekend. And then on the 16th, we get a breather. Thank goodness. We have Venus making her entrance into Cancer. So she is moving out of this Gemini, this do it twice energy. Venus is the energy of what we love, who we love, how we love. And she's going into yummy, foodie, snuggly, cozy Cancer, a water sign. Cancer is our mama energy. It's the people who mother hen other people. You've got a friend who has everybody at her house and wants to gather everybody together and let's have delicious food and play music. It's where you go to relax. It can also be, the little hidden space, your bedroom. It can be your den, where you've got your snuggly blankets and watch Netflix. It can be your car if you do lots of driving. If you're a workaholic, it could be your office where you have all your little pictures and knickknacks and everything just feels like home. Cancer wants to feel at home. It's the crab. Cancer is signified by the crab, and think about that crab shell being the home. And so Cancer will move out of its shell a little bit, but if it feels unsafe, it comes back home. So notice if you're ready to call mom, if you are ready to make a trip home to visit your parents or, some of your family, you may find that this energy is prominent right now. Just honor that and say, yeah, I want to see my parents. I am happy to be able to go back home. One day as we get to be older and older, we can't go back home. So go back home while you can. Make those phone calls and take care of your people during Cancer season. And that is the summer solstice. So did you know that you can do a chart on the summer solstice and it's going to give you energy for the rest of the year? It is going to tell you what is coming up next for the next and the rest of the year, not the rest of the year, the next 3 months for the solstice season until the fall equinox. So that might be something we explore doing, is looking at that chart to see what that energy is going to be like. But it is the turning of the wheel, summer solstice. It's officially summer, Cancer season, time to go on family vacations, time to, have picnics and barbecues and go to concerts and, doing all the things that make us feel good, the yum yum factor. So that is happening on the 20th. And then let's see, the 21st, we have a full moon. So that is the third week of Cancer. So I said second week when we have that ugly Mars Pluto energy, it's that pivot week. Well, by the time we hit solstice, the third week, that's holding the line, holding on. And Cancer is going to help us, just like that crab claw, saying, don't give up on your hopes and dreams. Don't give up on your project that you got the no for, that things aren't working. Something is going to happen. You are going to have a breakthrough. Mercury is sextile. It's a nice little 45-degree aspect when Mercury is sextiling Mars, and that is a yes, we get to move forward. So you're going to get a glimpse of the possibilities. You're going to be able to move forward with aim and purpose and structure on the 21st, and that accompanies a big old full moon in Capricorn. And Capricorn, he is the mountain goat. He is climbing to the top. He is going to make stuff happen. So I really have a feeling that whatever this thing is that you've got no's, you've had to pivot, stuff's not working, as we get into the third week by the summer solstice, just hold the line. It's coming. You're going to get a yes, or you're going to find out a different solution to that problem with that full moon in Capricorn. And that happens at 9:08 p.m. on June 21st. You think about manifesting your dreams. And, we're back to this ripple idea. We throw the stone, it goes out and out and out, but you get to control where you throw that stone. So what you're doing now is setting you up to go toward the end of the month, even through the harder energy. So keep that in mind, that you're getting to the place that you wanted to go. It's just going to take some detours. It's going to be a little bit of a windy road. Okay, but once we get to the 26th, Mercury, that planet of communication, he is in positive aspect, a trine with the planet Saturn, who is the old man of the zodiac, who comes and says, no, no, no. Did you do your due diligence? Did you take care of everything you were supposed to? And Mercury's going to say, oh, yes, Father Time. I took care of all the things. I made all my list. I did all my chores. I checked off all the boxes. I am ready. And then Saturn's going to say, okay, now you may pass, like the gatekeeper. So the fourth week of June becomes more of a yes. And also on the 29th, you might notice that Saturn is stopping in the sky. Saturn is in Pisces energy. It's a boundary time checklist. Okay. You need to check in where you need to create boundaries, and it might be time to redo, rework, and rethink boundaries in your life where you need to say no. So while the universe may have been saying no to you mid-month, it's now time for you to say no. Too many commitments, too many obligations, too many dinner invites, friend list. Maybe you just want to stay at home. You need some self-care. It's time to go have a Calgon moment. Take that time for you. Okay. That's happening at the end of the month. So we start out this week. We have this beautiful Venus Cazimi. Follow me on social media and like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you scroll through my social media, you'll see this beautiful Venus Cazimi picture I found, and I actually got it last week, and I just hung it up today in my front hall, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's my Venus. There's my Venus de Milo. It just, beautiful things just tend to pop in sometimes during a Venus Cazimi. So right now we're feeling pretty good. Things are wide open. Hopefully things are working in your world. Maybe you learned something new. It was an aha moment and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then middle of the month, it's like, oh no, there are delays and setbacks. Hold tight until the solstice. That Cancer energy is coming in get your crab claws and hold on to your dreams and the things that you're trying to accomplish this month. And toward the end of the month, you're going to be able to make them happen. So that is my forecast. I want to share with you before I go, though, really quick. Let's see. In medical astrology, the color of Gemini is yellow and orange. If you're into essential oils, you want to get out grapefruit, eucalyptus, lavender, and cedarwood are some good scents for this season in Gemini. Yes, the different crystals that are good for Gemini season is tiger's eye, a citrine, onyx, aventurine, that like turquoise color stone, so pretty, and moss agate. So those are some crystals for you. Oh, it's important to know body parts, and let me tell you, so Gemini body parts are the lungs. So taking care of your lungs. If you have allergies or any breathing problems in this humidity, or if there's pollution or smog, you take care of yourself. You can get some mullein tea, Mullein. You can order it online. That can help take care of your lungs. And I am not a doctor, people. So this is for entertainment purposes only. I am a mom who looks for all kinds of holistic health ways to take care of my family and my peeps. And so if you are watching this channel, you're one of my peeps. So go try some of these things. It's at your own risk. It may be for you. It may not be for you, but just some information, okay? So mullein tea for the lungs. Gemini is also signifies the arms and the hands. So let me tell you, I was working on installing some flooring. I tore a big place in my finger. I don't know if you can see it. It's healing now. Well, today I was hanging that picture and I cut this finger. And so it's yuck. So I feel like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me? I'm tearing my fingers off. So be careful with your fingers. Be careful with your arms and take care of your lungs, because those are the places of the body that Gemini signifies. Now, it's also the nervous system. So be careful with your nervous system getting overstimulated. Allergies, your body-mind connection through the nervous system. So take care of those. And what else do I have? Oh, and for this Venus Cazimi, get yourself some rose or some geranium. Put it in your essential oil mister, and it's just a nice way to celebrate, Venus Cazimi even through the new moon. So there's some little tips and tricks that I hope help you out. Be sure to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment below. Find me out on social media, Magical Life Astrology. My name is Jen. I'm from Cincinnati. It's been my pleasure to give you the June forecast, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, friends.